Moedim L'Simcha. I'm Malka-Sima Pais, and I want to invite you to a meditation for the Sukka, translating Torah mysticism into heart, body, and soul felt experience. And I use the word invitation intentionally. So you get to decide what you want to try on from what I'm offering. And if something doesn't feel right, let it go. And I invite you even to notice how you know if something doesn't feel right. Maybe there's some constriction, or maybe you start to space out. Or if you have a yes, maybe a deep breath. There's you kind of settle, or a sense of calm. Just kind of noticing your yes and your no with curiosity. There's no right way to do this. And, the feminine way is about being in process. So appreciating your own process, your own way of engaging and being with. So I'm going to invite you to, if it feels comfortable, to close your eyes. You can do this with your eyes open as well. And you can decide if you want to do this sitting or lying down, kind of get comfortable. And in whatever position you are, whether it's sitting or lying down, have with the intention of staying aware with not to get too comfortable, to drift off, that there's an awareness that the spine is straight. The pelvis maybe is just you're just leaning forward a little bit on your chair. So there's a straightness in the spine if you're sitting down. And I'll invite you to notice your body in the space. So if your spine does feel straight, if there's any adjustments, are you comfortable? Noticing the position of your hands, your feet, if they're touching the floor. Maybe if you're lying down, you let them the feet gently fall away from each other. And just notice maybe you want to roll your shoulders back, any movement or adjustment that will help you to feel more comfortable. And I'll invite you to shift your awareness to your breath. And notice the rhythm of your breath. It's fast or slow. It flows with ease. It feels constricted. Deep or shallow. And we're just noticing what it's like to be in your body in this moment. So there's not a right way. There's not one that's better than the other. We're just noticing what is. You might notice any micro movements associated with the breath. As you inhale in Belly expands. You can notice if the rib cage also expands even a little bit, the chest. And with the exhale, maybe the shoulders come down just a little bit. I'll invite you to bring your awareness to your weight in the space, the way that whatever surface you're sitting on or lying on supports you. And maybe with the exhale, you let just a little more of your weight be received by that support. I'll invite you to turn your awareness towards any sounds in your space. You may hear the sounds in my space. I'm not sure. There are birds in the background. You can notice any sounds associated with your breath. So maybe the inhale, you're aware of the sound of the breath if it's coming through your nose. The exhale through the mouth with the lips gently pursed. You can follow that breath as it comes in through the nostrils, noticing if you're aware as it comes down through the throat, expanding the lungs with the inhale. The diaphragm contracts, the lungs deflate with the exhale. And taking a few breaths here, noticing. And I'll invite you to gently open your eyes if they're closed. So feel a softness around your eyes. Maybe even imagine them kind of light in your eye sockets. And just kind of look around. If you're in your Sukka, might glance up at the sky. You might notice anything appealing, anything that you see in your surroundings that brings you a sense of joy or a sense of calm. And as you kind of slowly gaze with a soft gaze, let your head, your spine, your torso follow. Be a part of that movement as you slowly take in surroundings. And I'll invite you to notice the walls of the Sukka. And I'll invite you to close your eyes again. And maybe return your awareness to your breath, to your body, to your location in the Sukka. Kind of notice yourself. As you exist, as you take up space in the Sukka, you're a part of the Sukka. And the Arizal and the Alter Rebbe speak about the walls of the Sukka being like a hug. From Shir Shirim, the right hand embraces. And so I'll invite you to maybe put your left hand under your right arm on the side there. So the right arm kind of under the left arm. The left hand, excuse me, under the right armpit, and the right hand on the left arm, kind of giving a hug. In the same way that we learn that the Sukka, the walls of the Sukka, is Hashem's embrace, embracing us. And notice as your hands, you feel your hand on your own body. Notice if your hand feels maybe the texture of the clothing. Maybe warmth. To notice your arm that's being touched. So the left arm, where the right arm is touching, how the left arm feels as it's held, as it's embraced. And you might imagine like a baby being held in loving arms, or even in the womb. The Sukka is likened to the womb where we have all of our nourishment. You may have a memory of a special hug, whether maybe with a grandparent or a friend, a family member. And let yourself receive the love. And it's an unconditional love as we sit in the Sukka. The mitzvah is to be in the Sukka. That's how we connect to Hashem. No matter what we're doing, in the days leading up, we had tefillah, and tshuva, and tzedakah, and masim tovim. Those were the ways we were out in the world, the ways we were connecting, reaching out. And the Sukka is more of a feminine mode of receiving. Just our being, whatever we're doing in the Sukka, just in our very being, we're receiving Hashem's love, Hashem's embrace. And just notice in whatever way you can receive this unconditional love. You can receive the Shekhinah's presence. That's surrounding, that's within you. And again, there's no right way or right amount. It may be just one drop of this love. If you notice any resistance, whether it's thoughts, or any body constriction or sense, feelings of unworthiness, so just notice if you can take in one drop. If your hands are still in the hug, you can take one drop of that embrace, maybe on your heart. Let it soak in. Let your cells absorb it like a sponge. If it feels right, you can bathe in it. Let all of your cells soak it in. And I want to continue this meditation with an intention for receiving Ruach haKodesh for the year to come, based on a teaching by Saryudit Schneider, Minnesota Yesharim. And if this feels enough for you for now, or maybe you're being called, so this would also might be a good time to pause and just notice for yourself what feels right. And if you're still here, I want to invite you again. You can let your arms come down to the side. They can stay in the hug if that feels right. Kind of notice what your body, or any movement, any adjustments. And I want to invite you again to gently open your eyes, gazing up at the spot. So I'm not going to go into the full Torah teaching here, but I'll include it. I'll include it as a link. But just to say that the Schach includes kind of our soul sparks. There's a way that our yearnings, resolutions, and divinely ordained assignments for this coming year. I'm reading from Sarudit, a Torah on Sukka. That the work that we did in Elul, we stirred up spiritual dust, and those sparks are residing in the staff. And I really want to invite you. This is a practice of receiving. It's kind of an expanded conscious awareness. So we're not going to try to figure anything out right now. It's the Sak is also the Ananei Kavod, an energy of bitachon. So trusting in Hashem's guidance, trusting that we'll receive the consciousness that we must absorb, that reside in the Sak, that sparks their future lights, the lessons we must learn, the wisdom we must acquire, the resistances we must overcome. These lights are presently beyond our grasp. We have a year to grow into them. The Sod Yesharim says that these sparks have settled into the stuff. Our year's work, our soul's work for this year, have settled into the stuff and are radiating their guidance upon us as we sleep and eat and shake the lulav beneath its shade. And again, I want to invite you. The Torah piece is there. I'm going to share it. And for now, just to be open to receiving, trusting that there's a way that our soul sparks, the wisdom, the divine consciousness that will absorb is here. We just need to show up. And there's a way that this practice of slowing down and listening in, bringing awareness to our body, to our breath, to our bodies, we're kind of greasing the pathways to absorb, to receive these lights, to listen to the still small voice that shares them with us. And I'll invite you to kind of vacillate between the gentle gaze on the schach, and then if it feels right, closing your eyes, bringing your awareness to your breath. Ruach haKodesh, divinely inspired intuition, is called Hevle de Garma, the breath of the bones. So you might sense or imagine your skeleton, your bones, if that feels comfortable to you. They're resonating. The soul speaks to the language of symbols and images. So you can vacillate gazing with a soft gaze at the schach, where the bigger picture is imprinted of our work for the year. Every step, every next step for the most spiritually productive decisions, actions. We can access that. It's here in the schach. It's here in the Hevle de Garma, in the breath of our bones. And again, without needing to figure out how to know that, we're receiving, being with. Making space for that resonance between our inner knowing, our intuition that's guided, that's divinely inspired. And I'll invite, for those of you who want to stay in this space and continue to breathe with this, a feeling of Hashem's unconditional love, Hashem's embrace, the joy of knowing that Hashem is with us on every step of the way and guiding us, providing guidance. The joy of our that our being, just in our being, is enough. There's nothing I need to be doing in this moment. I'm loved. Ani ledodi v'dodi li. And I invite you to bring this consciousness together with you as we return to what might be the next step in our day or evening. Whether it's the anchor of the breath, returning to the breath, taking moments to pause, gazing up at the schach or the walls of the Sukka, their embrace. They're taking pause points to return to this space soaking in the Shekhinah's light, Hashem's love. Whenever you're ready, you can just notice any movements, your body, maybe roll your shoulders, maybe your neck gently side to side. Opening the eyes with that soft gaze. You're feeling your feet. Push your feet. Maybe bend your knees if you're lying down and push your feet. Or rolling onto your side and gently pushing yourself up to sitting. And I'll leave us with this prayer. Yihi ratzon milfanecha, tashpia shefa brachot, lid'at elyon, lenaveh birion, lemachon beit Eloheinu. Please, Hashem, send forth an outpouring of influence and blessing from your supernal dot, the place of devekut, clinging to you, connection, and source of Ruach haKodesh, all the way down to the Sukka of the bride, called Knesset Yisrael, Malchut, and Shekhinah, and may your flow of blessing enlighten us to such a degree that we become a house of God. Moadim l'simcha, Chag Sameach.